All right. Thank you. Appreciate everyone being here. I'm not going to take too long up front because I know what everyone's here for. Answers. The last year tested this community. We dealt with trolls, server wipes, lies, drama, leadership changes, and yes, like I said earlier, we lived through a full wipe. And I'm not interested in pretending it didn't happen. But I'm also not interested in letting that be the final chapter. See, the way I look at things, think of it like using that as fuel for the future. You know, like when you deal with something like this, something that hurts the community in a certain kind of way, you don't take that and you just weep and just sit around in depression. You take that and you run with it, okay? And that's what I try and tell all the recruits, all the people that I interview, talk with, you know. When I'm recruiting people, when I'm interviewing, I'm letting them know, I'm like, hey, look, you're not just joining an established community. You're not just gonna jump into this perfectly glorified kingdom, you know? That's the end goal. That's the end goal. But when it comes to being a part of a rebuild, it's not just all sunshine and rainbows. There's mixed points to it, you know? You've got parts where you sit down and you have nobody join the community for a week. You might have a day where you have 5 members and you get super ramped up, but then it slows down. Rebuilding a community is tough. You have days where you feel like you're on top of the world. And you've got days where you question if it's worth going on anymore. This press conference, it's about the rebuild, the standards, the plan, the future of MardiMania. So I'm not going to talk much longer. So let's begin. Questions?
Pleasure to be here, Mod Paine. I was just curious as to what you expect the future of MardiMania to look like, and how involved do you feel like you will be in that process?
Appreciate the question. Look, I'll answer it straight. The future of MardiMania is going to look like stability. It's going to look like structure. Okay? It's going to look like a community that doesn't collapse the second a troll shows up with a keyboard and too much free time. Because we all know with trolls, they don't have lives. That's the simplest way to put it. For a while, we were just running on vibes alone. Good people, good energy, and Marty going live. That's great, sure. But vibes don't stop sabotage. They do not. Vibes don't stop misinformation. Vibes don't stop people from trying to break things for entertainment. For their own entertainment, even. So the future is going to look like this, okay? Clear rules, consistent development and enforcement, trustworthy staff, people that I will hire over time, protection for members, protection from invaders, posting explicit content and such, and a culture. See, building a culture is really important in a community. We need to build one that rewards positivity instead of rewarding chaos. As for how involved I'll be blunt. I'm not stepping back. I don't get appointed after the server nuke just to wear a title and disappear. I took that moment personally. When everything got wiped, I took it as a challenge. As a moment to really improve my character and improve those around me. And I'm going to be involved in every layer. Rebuilding systems, training staff, setting standards, planning events, protecting Marty's space, making sure the community has a real foundation. MardiMania isn't just coming back. It's coming back smarter to prevent a second thing like this happening.
So, a lot of people lost trust after what happened. Why should anyone believe that this rebuild is real? Why should they trust leadership again?
That's a fair question. And I'm not going to get defensive about it, because trust has to be earned. Okay? What happened hurt people. Some people got manipulated. Some people got fed lies, and some people watched years of memories disappear. If you're sitting there skeptical, I don't blame you. But here's the difference now. We're not asking for blind loyalty anymore. We're building something that can be verified. Trust is going to come from consistency. Rules that actually mean something. Mods who don't play favorites. Decisions that get explained instead of hidden. A leadership team that listens instead of reacts. I don't want people to trust us because we say, trust us. I want people to trust us because month after month we show effort. We prove that we're serious. So yeah, I mean, I completely get the concern because of what happened last time. But when you think about it, the truly trustworthy ones, the ones that work tirelessly every day, those will be the people that you rely on and that you trust.
Some people have said moderation failed and that leadership allowed the nuke to happen. Do you take responsibility?
I'll answer that carefully. First, I became a mod after the nuke. I didn't have access to the server. It was to extra rules, or like extra abilities. I didn't have authority at the time. I didn't have the ability to stop the server nuke. But second, even if it wasn't my fault, I understand the feeling behind that question. When a community gets hurt, people want accountability. It's completely normal. They want someone to tell them, we see what you lost. So here's what I'll say. I take responsibility for what happens from this point forward. Anything that bad happens to the community falls back on me. I'm not going to waste energy pointing fingers at people, blaming people for others who spend countless hours trying to ruin someone's life. I'm going to use that energy to make sure it doesn't happen again, that it can't happen again. That's what leadership is, turning pain into protection. You have to have trustworthy and confident leaders out there.
You talk about structure. What new rules are being added? And how strict will enforcement be?
We're keeping the core rules. No toxicity. Keep it PG-13. No spam, politics, NSFW. Respect people, that's the baseline. We're adding the one rule that matters most after what we lived through. Zero trolling at all. No tolerance. Zero tolerance policy for trolls. I want people to understand what I mean by trolling, okay? I'm not talking about light jokes or playful banter, okay? I'm talking about baiting arguments with people, spreading fake information, impersonation, drama farming, trying to manipulate people, and anything designed to get reactions through harm, okay? It's those kinds of trolling. Yeah, people are gonna mess around, people are gonna make jokes, okay? That's where we cross the line now. Zero tolerance policy. Those are instant action behaviors because we learned the hard way. If you give trolls an inch, they'll take the entire community. Enforcement is going to be consistent. We have a ladder, reminder, warning, timeout, temporary ban, permanent ban. And we reserve the right to skip steps for serious stuff. If you're a troll in the community, what are you wasting your time for? I mean, what's the point? You think you get 3 strikes, you're like, oh, I'll only get timed out for a day. No, it's not true. We have that right to skip steps. So people thinking they can just do something horrible, they're like, oh, I got 2 strikes left. No, We will skip them if need be. This community is not a playground for cruelty.
Some people might say you're taking over too much, that you want control. How do you respond?
That's fair. I mean, I get how that can look from the outside. But if you think being head mod is fun power, you've never actually been responsible for anything. Power isn't what I want. Protection is what I want. You can ask Marty. Let me be real. Nobody gets handed this role after a disaster unless leadership is desperate for someone who actually works. I stepped into a mess. I didn't inherit a throne. 75% of people wouldn't have taken on the role I did. I went from just a viewer who occasionally edited videos and, just popped in on stream, tried to help them out with trolls, situations, stuff like that, to all of a sudden head mod. I mean, that's not easy. I'm here because I care, because I've watched since 2020, because I watched Marty keep streaming even when the community was being tested. If I wanted control, I'd be chasing attention. Instead, I'm chasing stability. There's a difference. Next question.
What are some steps that we as MardiMania members can take in order to get the word out there? Because after the Dale attack, we kind of lost lots of our members, and I was wondering what we could do in order to get us back to our former glory. If you get what I mean.
Yeah, that's a good question. Well, I've said it on the stream a few times, but send links to everybody you know. Okay? If you really want to help, if you really want to be a part of the community, let's talk contract negotiations. I still need a recruiting assistant, a recruiting agent. I'm handling most of the recruiting, but my staff isn't filled out yet. I still need some members to volunteer to help me out with recruiting. So MardiMania members, if you're watching, anybody in your family, anybody who likes a variety content streamer, tell them to join. I mean, you have pretty high quality streamers now that they'll stream, but not daily. Marty is an almost guarantee to stream every day at the exact same time. You know when he's going to stream. It's normally at a good time. Most people are off work by then. Most people are out of school. And it's Christmas break right now. I mean, there could not have been a better time to join a rebuild, okay? I mean, there could not be a better time. Yeah, so we did lose a lot of members. We got a lot of them back. Well, 30 back. Some new people, but as ones who are here before it's big, I mean, if need be, print out a QR code of the community, of the server, put it on your local stop sign. I mean, as much attention and publicity that this server can get, the better. And that's what I tell everybody all the time. It's what I tell Marty all the time. He once told me we're moving too fast. That's why we're not doing any brand expansions as of now until we get to a certain point. But we'll get there eventually. It's like I said, being head mod is not easy work, but we'll get there.
This time around, will the mods all be active? Because during the last time, Marty had several mods, and only one of them was really active. The other one that was there kind of popped in every couple of months or so.
Yeah, no, I agree. That's a really good question, actually. Marty and his community had 7 mods, but never did I ever see them active in the community, just like you said. The main one that was active was Vagrant. And then you had Rocky. He's no longer with us as of now, due to some past events that I will not discuss. We don't bring that up anymore. But yeah, Vagrant was the main mod of the community. He was kind of like the head mod. I mean, his community was already pretty set. I mean, you had a lot of inactive people, and that's kind of what we're doing now. We're trying to get people in the community that will be active, and that's hard to find. It's hard to find people that will do that, but we're working on it. But yes, to answer your question, mods will be active. Okay, during the nuke, Marty, out of desperation, hired me, Goop, and Leah as moderators, and we're all three active. I mean, you've got Goop and Leah joining his VR chat streams. You got them in the server. You know, they're kind of like my right hand men, right? Or they're not both men, but you get my point. They're like my sidekicks in a way, and I find that cool. We've got kind of like a better structure. And Vagrant's back as half mod now, so it's not like he's gone. He's still here, and he's gonna be a very valuable source. I mean, he's the detective and investigator. I mean, that's what I hired him to. A lifetime contract. A lifetime. That's huge. Very big of a contract. It's worth a lot. It's gonna be cool. We've got a solid foundation already being formed. But yeah, no pressure. There will be activity from the mods in the server from here on out.
Some users claim moderation is too strict now, and that bans happen too quickly. Are you worried about pushing people away?
I'll say it like this, okay? If strict rules push away trolls, that's not a problem, that's success. But if a normal good faith member makes a mistake, we're not trying to destroy them. That's why we have warnings and timeouts. Again, like I said, we can skip those steps and insta-ban someone, but if we have a genuine good member, they're not going to constantly be messing up. We have several punishment ladders before they're gone. It would take them having to mess up back to back times. And if they haven't learned after that many times, they're clearly a troll. We're going to have to put them down. The issue is when people pretend they're just joking while they're poisoning the space. We're not doing that game anymore. That's done. We've dealt with that for too long. It's just done. We want a community where good people can relax, and that means bad actors won't feel comfortable here. That's the point.
You've said Project MardiMania 2026. What does that exactly mean? What's the plan?
Project MardiMania 2026 means rebuilding like we plan to last. It's not one announcement and then everyone forgets. It's a real plan. Rebuild channels with purpose. Create consistent weekly community moments. Improve onboarding for new members. Establish mod training and accountability. Make sure announcements are clear. Create a place where new people can join without walking into chaos. It means MardiMania becomes something you can recommend to a friend without saying, just ignore the weird side stuff. Just ignore it. There will be no weird stuff. That's the goal. Project MardiMania 2026 is just the beginning of our goals here.
This year has been intense. How has it affected you personally?
Honestly, it changed me. Learned that communities aren't just fun, they're fragile. When you care about something fragile, you either protect it, you watch it break. I've been angry, I've been disappointed, I've been exhausted. But I've also been more determined than I've ever been. okay? Because the worst part wasn't just losing the channels. The worst part was watching good people feel unsafe and unwelcome. So yeah, it affected me. But it also gave me clarity. I know exactly what I'm here to do. I know my role here. I know it well. Next question.
How does Marty feel about the rebuild? Is he involved?
Marty is the reason any of this exists, so of course, yes, his voice matters. But I also want to protect his energy. He's a streamer. He should be focused on doing what he does best. Going live, making content, building funny moments. My job is to keep the foundation strong so he can create his stuff without constantly fighting fires. He shouldn't have to worry about security and chaos every time he streams. That's on me and the team. That's why I'm hiring detectives and investigators. That's why I'm hiring recruiters. That's why I'm hiring all kinds of people, which Marty was confused of at first, but he understands now. He knows the reasoning for this. I keep pushing him, letting him know, you don't have anything to worry about. This is all my doing. Everything is on me. So yes, while he's involved, I'm kind of like his GM almost. Like I'm promoting the server everywhere. I'm hiring people that will help protect the community and keep everything safe. You know, you give trolls an inch, they take the community. You give me an inch of being able to help rebuild a community? Well, it's a damn sure that I'm gonna be doing that, and I'm gonna do it well.
Thank you, Mod Paine. Several members have pushed Marty to bring back his old skits, yet he continues to say that's the old him. Is he just avoiding doing it because of laziness? Because he only wants to stream? What is going on?
Yeah, I'm gonna push back on that laziness part immediately. The word is cheap. It does not match the reality of someone who has kept showing it up for years. How dare you even bring that up? That's a possibility. You know how difficult it is to sit down every day, even when you don't feel like it? Streaming day after day after day. I mean, there are nights, I'm sure, he's been sick. He's had family problems, and he still streams every day. I mean, that is just beautiful. It really is. I mean, he goes live, he plans, he interacts, he carries the energy. He built this place from the start himself. He built this place himself. You want to call him lazy? It's not laziness at all. It's not. It's ridiculous. What I think people are really feeling is nostalgia. They miss a part of the channel that made them laugh, and that's valid. The skits meant something. They weren't just videos, they were a vibe, a time, a chapter. People, they connected to it. The creators change, life changes. The pressure changes. Sometimes you don't stop doing something because you hate it. You stop because you outgrew the version of yourself that made it. Or because it takes more time and energy than people realize. Especially when you're already streaming every day and keeping things up and running. I mean, just put yourself in that perspective. Put yourself in that situation where you sit down, stream every night, and then you got a skit that you want to make on top of it. You got to get up, you got to actually walk and then film yourself, and then edit it, and then you have a stream later that night. It's like, okay, where do you find the time for it? Now, if you're not a daily streamer, that might be a little different. Now, here's the part where I'm open. I'm not against skits coming back. I mean, I've been one to tell them that I also really liked them. I think the real question is how to bring them back in a way that feels authentic to who Marty is now. Not forcing him to cosplay the past just because chat demands it. So yeah, if the community wants skits back, I'm willing to talk about it. I'm willing to help build a plan that makes it realistic. Maybe smaller skits, occasional specials, community ideas, themed segments, things that don't burn him out. But no, I'm not letting anybody label Marty lazy for evolving. That's not fair to him, and if we bring anything back, it's gonna be because it makes sense and it feels right, not because we guilt him into it, okay? So, don't mean to get too mean on you there, but I mean, that's just, I mean, I know you threw it out as just an option, but to do that is just disrespect. But next question.
Will there be, like, a separate server or rules to maybe some of the rules that they've been reformed? Or, like, you know, to Marty that they no longer want to troll him and want to be legitimate members of his server?
That's a good thought. Actually, I haven't really thought of something like that. Yeah, I could talk to Marty about it. I could run it, so that way he's not dealing with it. Obviously have him in it, so he could, you know, oversee what's going on. So, you know, obviously I wouldn't be just sticking my neck out for all of them. But I do believe in second chances. I do believe in changing of character, because, I mean, I've changed a lot over the last few years. I've become more mature, I've become more of a leader. And I think some people who have made mistakes in the past, I think that they could right the wrong. Having a gulag type server where, you know, like, everybody pleads their case. You know, Twitch has a unban appeal request. Why can't the Discord have one? So, no, I haven't been, I'm not actually fully against that. No, I can talk to Marty about it. That's something that, you know, could be a part of Project MardiMania 2026. If it becomes a thing, it'll be next year. It won't be in December. Here in MardiMania, we kind of like to save big changes for the starts of New Year's. It kind of helps us keep a proper schedule, keep everything in line. So, appreciate it. Next question.
Does Mardiman like cookies? And if so, what cookies does he like?
That's a difficult one to answer. I assume he does. I mean, everyone likes cookies. But, I mean, if I had to say which one he liked, I would assume maybe chocolate chip, sugar cookies. I mean, that's kind of like the general cookies that everyone likes. That one's hard to answer. I will say, though, one thing that would be helpful for recruiting is finding members who want to join, potential members, and finding comparisons, things that they can relate to with the leader of the community. Because when you sit back and you really look at it from the grand scheme of things, what does a community have in common? Everything. Community has everything in common. If you join the Mario Maker Discord, who do you think is going to be in that Discord, the server? I would assume Mario Maker people. Discord servers have a general theme about them. And when it comes to MardiMania, you know, he streams a bunch of different games, but what do they all have in common? Nintendo. Okay? So, people who love Nintendo, people who love Sonic, people who like watching OCs, welcome aboard. Welcome to MardiMania. So I know I took your question, I kind of like turned it, but to be honest, it was a weird question. It was about cookies, but I do think that can be used in a positive way. I think really that probably gave me more of an idea. Pushing out more promo, discussing with Marty maybe more things that he can relate to the audience with, because if you have a streamer who doesn't relate to the audience, why should the audience continue watching? Not to say MardiMan hasn't done already a great job of that, but I think we could push that even further. So, maybe include, find more Nintendo lovers. Maybe for his new schedule next year, where his Sundays become more open. We have more viewer interaction, potentially more votes. Maybe voting for a game. He could put out like 5 games that are optional. The community can vote. I think that'd all be really cool steps to take forward, having a more interactive and involved community to help the stream, help the streamer become more relatable to the viewer. Okay. Final question.
Thank you, Mod Paine. What do you want to say to the community right now?
Okay. I want to start with this. If you stayed through the worst, if you were here before the nuke, and you remained, you're the backbone. If you left because it got messy and you're watching from a distance, understandable. But the door is open if you want to come back. And if you're new and you're hearing all this, like, what did I walk into? You walked in at the rebuild. You're early. That matters. I preach to everybody I talk to. Everybody I interview and try and recruit to the community, I let them know, I tell them, be here before it gets big. Because there's something about when you experience a community at its worst, and then when it's thriving, it doesn't get any, there's no better feeling than that. There is no better feeling. I'm not promising perfection, I'm promising effort. Okay? I'm promising standards, I'm promising protection. They tried to wipe our history. So now we build a future so strong, they can't touch it. And that's it. I appreciate you all. Have a good night. And let's go watch some MardiMan streaming tonight. Be here before it gets big. Project MardiMania 2026 is just getting started. Thank you all.